The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. Off the crank. Far too weather-god-fearing to voluntarily subject myself to further elemental punishment at the whim of nature's invisible fists, and in need of something novel to tinker with, thereby alleviating the obsessive-compulsive need to find fresh ways of describing viciously repetitive routes. I first learned of MyWoosh from a long-term Strava associate, who'd been wrestling with a litany of stability issues, mostly lockups and crashes to desktop, nearly all of which were ultimately resolved via updated graphics card drivers and a clean install of the latest version, which can be downloaded directly from the MyWoosh website or Microsoft's online store. The program is available for a multitude of mobile and desktop platforms, including tablets and smartphones of Android and Apple pedigree, whilst macOS and Windows users have a choice of two flavours, Vanilla and Hash Delight, with the former running at a lower resolution than 1080p, combined with nominally reduced detail levels and hence better suited to systems harbouring less capable hardware, perhaps older than 5 years and/or featuring an integrated graphics chip on their CPUs that will, with such visual compromises, allow the player to experience consistently smooth action at speeds above 60 frames per second. By contrast, the program's augmented incarnation is claimed to be optimized for higher-end PCs, incorporating more powerful key components, perhaps assembled within the last 3 to 5 years, including an add-in or discrete video card based on NVIDIA's or AMD's current or preceding two architectures, respectively no earlier than Ampere or RDNA 2, and in each case a mid-range or upper-tier variant, such as the Radeon RX 6700 or GeForce RTX 3070, and in any case equipped with no fewer than 8 gigs of VRAM. This dedicated GPU should be paired with a 12th generation or newer Intel Core i5 7 or 9 processor, which includes all models within the 12,000 to 14,000 range, with or without the K or KS suffix, as well as the Blue Baron's latest ultra-branded Arrow and Lunar Lake products. For AMD customers, any R5, 7 or 9 Ryzen chip evolved from Camp Crimson's Zen 2 or later generations, which incorporates all 3 to 9000 series mobile and desktop parts, together with their XT derivatives, should be more than adequate to sustain objectively playable speeds. But if in doubt, full system requirements should be listed on MyWoosh's website. The initial installer was only a single gigabyte, and once executed, began downloading what I assumed was the core content, which amounted to 3 gigs, enough to comfortably fit on a PC DVD-ROM. Ah, memories. And an order of magnitude smaller than the... Okay. Still substantially less storage space than the 30+ gigs so regularly required by today's AAA resource hogs, such as Cyberpunk, Doom Dark Ages, Hogwarts Legacy, Black Myth, Oblivion Remastered, and Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I started downloading during the second COVID pandemic in 2020, and still hasn't installed. Registration process was straightforward, requiring the usual personal details sought by a typical fitness tracking service, not least mass, FTP, a functioning email address, and 35-character alphanumerical password. As with Zwift, Ruvi, BeCool, Wahoo System, and others, all current smart trainers and bikes from Wahoo, Kicker, Tax, Elite, and others are fully compatible, as well as Zwift's recently released Frame, essentially a stationary tube set, which is sold as a package with the company's direct drive hub unit, and can be combined with their optional single-speed cassette, which electronically simulates the gears through the trainer's adaptable resistance. The initial configuration menu picked up my Stages SB20, whose dual Gen 3 cranks had been calibrated via the company's still serviceable Power app, whilst on MyWoosh's subsequent pairing screen, I selected the bike's internal transceiver as the cadence sensor, unified power source, and turbo trainer, in each case specifying ANT+ as the protocol to conserve battery life, though Bluetooth is also fully supported. A selection of 12 virtual worlds are mostly defined by their country of origin and include Japan, Belgium, Switzerland, and Colombia, all of which in turn feature a comprehensive variety of courses, circuits, and routes of widely varying distances, and which are either dimensional replicas of their real-life counterparts or semi-fictional amalgamations of notable landmarks and geographical locations, whose names often subtly allude to their sources. This was the case with my random choice, Area 52, a 20-kilometre flattish affair set against a dramatic nocturnal backdrop, and, on first impressions, clearly inspired by age-old sci-fi pastiches, coiling tunnels lined with observation windows to laboratories and fluorescent tube lighting, reminiscent of the highly classified bio-research facilities in countless FPS shooters, whilst external environments vividly embody aspects of a post-apocalyptic Orwellian dystopia, with distant skylines and hulking iron bridges, complemented by an eerily deserted fairground and colourful cartoon-themed suburb. At least one densely forested section of the looped course is replete with swarms of glowing fireflies and golden leaves that glisten in the mellow lamplight, whilst a substantial portion passes through an acreage of bustling city streets, lined with brightly illuminated shops and tower blocks, whose incandescent effervescence bears a striking resemblance to Zwift's ever-lit Mercurian metropolis Neokio, though these similarities are likely coincidental, given that there are only so many ways to vividly illustrate the vibrant urban nightlife of downtown Los Angeles. Like Zwift, 4 quality profiles determine the game's input resolution, with an ultra option denoting the monitor's native dimensions, and its 3 lesser alternatives automatically rendering content at a factorial proportion of these values, then dynamically upscaling it to match the display's parameters. No specific settings exist to fine-tune special effects, toggle objects and animations, or adjust draw distance, though 2 further variables include a 4-tiered sharpness control and post-processing filter, both of which I left configured at their maximum value. The scenery appears exceptionally detailed, picking up from where RGT had paved the way as a photorealistic alternative to Zwift's unique cartoon style, with each relying respectively on a library of digitized assets and hand-drawn artwork to create their fully animated 3D environments. In my experience, this constitutes a far more rewarding form of indoor cycling than the older, yet still more prevalent method whereby pre-recorded video footage of a route, climb, or noteworthy tour section is played back at varying speed and in direct accordance with the rider's measured efforts on their specific equipment. MyWoosh's rider animations for seated and unsaddled activity are arguably the most authentic yet observed on a cycling simulator, and complemented by responsive pack dynamics that accurately replicate both the appearance and feel of a real-life group ride, though erratic collision detection can occasionally cause avatars to laterally teleport across one another's paths when advancing or retreating through the peloton. High-quality textures are seamlessly employed to generate a broad array of surfaces, terrain and landscapes, which at my default resolution of 4K rolled by at a speed to satisfy all but a self-appointed esports champion, whilst the software's stylish GUI is well appointed, with menus being easy to navigate and containing all the useful information and statistics necessary to help the user choose from its plethora of routes, events, and structured workouts. An intuitive but not intrusive heads-up display provides the athlete with a clear and constant visual of those crucial metrics necessary to monitor their performance in real time, and merges practically with a selection of 10 camera angles, which can be switched via customizable shortcut keys. By default, trainer resistance is set to a fairly high level, meaning force feedback is more acutely applied as the rider pedals over the course's gradients, though this can be adjusted to one's desired difficulty via a slider within the program's settings. Meanwhile, virtual velocity appears close to what one might expect for the same effort in real life, assuming conditions were neutral, and perhaps a kilometre or two less flattering than emulated by Zwift's mercurial physics engine, though I had neither the time nor energy to conduct any forensic analysis of each platform's algorithmic quirks within the 45 soft tempo minutes that it took me to complete my chosen route.